Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for the segment, we have Sara, Mehle, ESG Index Strategist with Nasdaq Global Indexes to discuss the top performers in Nasdaq Indexes. Sara, it's great to see you as always. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Hey, Jill, good to see you as well.
You got it. And the Nasdaq 100, of course, for the month of January, some pretty impressive performance to kick off 2023.
Yeah, so we're reviewing January performance today, a little better late than never, if you will, with just a few weeks left in February. But looking back to January, we saw the Nasdaq 100 post its best performance since 2001 for the month of January, and we saw the best single month performance since last July, with a return of a little bit over 10%. On average, we saw the 100 indexes that we track finish out of the 100, 97 of those finished in positive territory. The best performing out of all of the indexes we track being the Bitcoin index. Outside of that, it was the CTA Internet Index, up over 19%. So here, just looking at the screen, we have the Nasdaq featured indexes as well as the Nasdaq Global Indexes. So again, we saw all of the featured indexes finish well in positive territory, with gains between 4.7 all the way up to 13.9. And in the global lineup, we also saw really strong performance here within the United States, but then also globally. So within emerging and developed markets, we saw both of those kind of finish right in line with each other, right around 7%.
And if we take a look at more thematic ones, such as green economy, dividend, and income, how did the performance look there?
So again, generally, we saw a strong month there for these indexes back in January. So the Nasdaq OMX Solar Index was our top performing within the green economy suite, up over 10%. Within the Nasdaq Nordic, we saw the Stockholm 30 and the Helsinki 25 really outperform there. And then within dividend, again, the story here is we saw all positive returns here after some struggling months back in 2022. It was really nice to start the year here with some strong performance, where we saw the Nasdaq International Dividend Achievers lead the way there with a return of over 8%.
Yeah, certainly international equity is the key theme to kick off the year. Taking a look at your next slide here, if we look at some of the more nuanced indexes, such as bullet shares and our momentum indexes with Dorsey Wright, same thing here, strong performance nearly across the board.
Yeah, we saw the momentum factor really drive a lot of these indexes higher within the Nasdaq Dorsey Wright suite. The only two that really finished there in the negative territory was utilities and healthcare, both more defensive sectors. And actually, the Dorsey Wright Healthcare Index was the worst performing out of the 100 that we track, although it was just down about 1%, which is very different than what we were looking at during some months back in 2022. But like you mentioned, the bullet shares index lineup. We saw strong performance there, as well as in our options lineup with that, strong performance there as well.
Right. And Sara, to wrap up here to your point earlier, some of these moves are, the opposite of what was reflective in 2022. And we can see that with the thematic indexes, certainly.
Yep. So wrapping it up with our thematic indexes, we really did, again, we saw that the Nasdaq CTA Internet Index really outperformed there with 19%, especially in our clean edge green energy index, artificial intelligence, semiconductors, all those areas of tech, which we saw struggle, throughout 2022, really did pick up steam, and all of our indexes within our thematic and tech did manage to finish January in positive territory. So again, we have just a few weeks left of February, so we'll see, or 1 week actually, to see where we end up here. But just looking back at January, again, it was a record-setting month of January for the Nasdaq 100, and we hope to continue to see that throughout this year.
Yeah, so does my 401k, Sara. Appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.